size 2, jesus.blogspot.com. And welcome to my annual Detail Extended Planner Tour. So I will give you a detailed view and tour of my 2024 planner setup, what I'm starting 2024 in, and yeah, so we'll go ahead and take a look. Now, first of all, the question is, okay, what size did I settle on? Pocket / A7, personal wide, compact, classic size. I went ahead and decided I wanted to definitely do Franklin Covey compact size. And I am in a rings planner. So compact size is exact same holes and ring configuration as personal size, but Franklin Covey compact size, the pages are wider than personal, but they're not as wide as personal wide. They're kind of in between. In my opinion, it's a perfect size. So I am in that size. And then the question is, okay, well, which binder do I want to be in? Well, I have this binder, which I am not in, but probably will be in here and there, especially when my planner gets thick. Sometimes it gets thick and I need more room. This is a Moterm Personal Wide, and I took out the 30mm rings that came in this, and I have 1.5" Franklin Covey rings in here. So this is something that I'll probably go into in and out throughout the year, especially when I need more room in my rings. But I am currently in and loving being in a SmartFee personal size planner from Amazon. So I have some SmartFees, especially from when they were newer, and they're nice. Their oil pulled leathers are really nice. They smell great. But the leather was super thin, so you gotta wonder how long it's gonna, withstand being used. But the newer line of the SmartFee planners I have out now, they're comparable to the Moterms. They're very nice. And last I checked, cheaper, but I don't recall. There might not be anymore. So I got a Croco personal size in SmartFee. They call this apricot. I would say this is more taupe. Gorgeous Croco. I'd say this is probably one of my very favorite Crocos. I'm not in this, but I strongly considered it, and I did try it out for a while, and I love that I have this as an option for when I want to switch into it. Another one I got that I really like, and by the way, that Croco is Croco embossed genuine cow leather. Another one I got from SmartFee that I'm loving is this. It's so pretty. This is a genuine leather. This is a Napa leather, and it feels soft, like how they say, buttery soft. That's how this one feels from SmartFee. And I love it because it's business on the outside and it's fun on the inside. This is my second place winner. This is one that I almost went into to start out 2024, and it was very close because this is fabulous. But the only downfall I'm finding with the Napa leather is it does scratch up. So even just a few days I tried it out, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, there are definitely scratches and indentations. So that's something where I would just have to accept and be okay with that the outer black Napa leather is going to get scratches and indentations, but the pretty inside pink is still going to look pretty good. So, and by the way, these newer SmartFee personal planners, they come with gold rings. Now, these aren't the original rings it came with. They come with gold 30mm rings, but I have 1" rings in here that I put in there. So the planner that I am in, drum roll please, right, is a personal size SmartFee with Franklin Covey compact inserts in it. I'm in this beauty. I love this. This is my first place winner. This is also genuine leather. This is our oil pulled leather. And what I like about this leather and this color is it's gonna patina, it's gonna mark up, but it's gonna just look more and more amazing the more it gets marked up. So where the Napa leathers, it gets marked up, it's gonna look like it's been getting used. But when you have like an oil pull type leather, when these get marked up and patinaed, it just adds more and more character and beauty and depth to the leather. And SmartFee's oil pulled leather planners, they smell amazing. It's really interesting to me. They just smell really good. So, because I have not personal inserts in here, even though it's a personal size planner, I have Franklin Covey compact inserts, and I'm not trimming them down. I'm leaving them their correct size. Tabs stick out a bit. It's not bothering me. They're not sticking out enough to get caught on anything. They are not sticking out enough to where they're getting bent by my strap. And there's two snaps, a tighter and looser setting. And I have it on the tighter setting. And still, the tabs are not crashing into or being bent by my strap. So this is a nice long strap. And what I did was, though, I did have to take out the 30mm rings that this came with, and I put in 1-inch gold rings. It came with the gold 30mm, which is just a hair short of 1.25 inches. So I put in 1-inch Moterm gold rings. And now if you do that with the Moterm Luxes, then the Franklin Covey Compacts will fit in there like exactly. But the Smart Fees have a more narrow footprint than the Moterms. So even if you do what I did and you take out the 30mm rings and you put in 1-inch rings, your tabs are going to still stick out a little bit. As to where if you do that with a Moterm Lux, your tabs don't stick out. They just kind of come right up to the edge. I don't mind. Like I said, it's actually causing me zero problems. So let me go ahead and change views so you can have a more closer look at this, and I will show you what's inside my 2024 planner. Okay, so we have kind of a top-down view of my planner, and like I said, this is a personal size Smart Fee planner. It's in the beautiful brown oil-pulled genuine leather, and the page size in here is Franklin Covey compact size. So you can see tabs stick out a bit. It's not a problem. They don't stick out a whole lot, especially since I have two pens. That kind of offers some protection for the tabs. And the strap closes just fine. And I love this brown. In fact, this is a brown I was looking for because check this out. Look how close it is to a Filofax Malden. Just before I found this online, I was thinking about if I wanted to try to do compact size in a Filofax Malden. I know the tabs stick out, but I got this strap nice and stretched out for years being in and out of this Malden. So you can see color comparison. It's pretty close. So I was really excited that I was able to get a big back pocket style planner, this type of closure with no logos on the outside. That does bug me. And that I was able to get it in a color pretty comparable and close to the Filofax Malden ochre color. So that's pretty exciting. All right, so going inside. All right, so I'll show you pockets first. We have a zipper pocket here with this nice leather pull, and inside there I just have some change. Not even a whole lot, just a bit of change. So that's what I keep in there. And then you have a side pocket over here. I got $7 in cash in there, and that's all I keep in there. And then the card slots, this bottom slot here, this is just a journaling card. There's nothing else there, and it holds a heart-shaped paper clip, which I thought was cute. And that's for, because sometimes I need to clip a receipt or clip something to a page or clip some pages together. So that's where I keep my paper clip. And by keeping it on a journaling card instead of directly on the leather, it's not going to get caught on the leather seams. I don't know if you've ever had that, if you stuck like a paper clip here and then you try to take it off and the paper clip gets caught. That can happen in planners. So instead I just have a journaling card and I just have it sticking on a journaling card. Excuse my voice and coughs. I'm getting over a cold. Okay, so then these card slots, these are just trimmed down journaling cards or really decorative cardstock. And then I just have some things behind each one. So behind this one is just some little sticky notes. I kind of use these ones a lot, so I figured I'd have them here up front where they're easy to get to. Behind the next one, these are by Avery. They are hole reinforcement stickers. So when you're in a ring-bound planner, if you have pages in here that you have in there for a long time, the holes might start ripping out. Then you can just repair them. I have both colored. I guess I just have colored. I also have a pack of just white, so I should probably put some white ones in here, but I don't really care if it has color or not, really. Okay, and then behind the next one here, these are Avery dots. And I use these, most of the time these are on my calendar pages. If I have an appointment or a birthday or something special on a certain day, then I'll put one of these colored dots on top of that date and then rewrite the date number on top of the dot, and that catches my attention, and then next to it I write down what the occasion is and why that dot is there. Sometimes I'll also put a dot on my daily planning page if it's like a task that I need to stand out more than usual to me. Okay, and then behind this top slot, I'm just going to take that out of the way, these are Avery labels. So these will go also on my monthly calendar pages, but also sometimes on my daily pages. And this is something where most of the time this is if it's for something that's tentative, where I think it's going to be something on that day, but I'm not sure. So I'll write in one of these because then I can always pick it up and move it to a different spot. So mostly that's what I use these for, but they're also handy if I really need to point something out, or if I wrote something down in pen, because I write in pen, and it ends up being wrong or changed, then I'll just put one of those over it and then rewrite on top of it. And I also have some of these in white as well. I just don't have them in my planner because, I don't know, I like color. Okay, and then we have this other side pocket here, and I kind of have a lot of things in this one, so I'll take them out. So I have some more, regular size Post-it sticky notes. This is just a folded over piece of paper to protect page flags. I'm out of the yellow, so I just have that in there. Then I have more little small sticky notes. And then I have a big Post-it dot grid pad of sticky notes. These are just great. And it fits compact size and personal size just wonderfully. If you need I don't know, I've had to use it where I've had a running to-do list on a project for a week. And so I needed to move that list as things got checked off each day to the next day until it was done. So things like that, it's handy for that. Okay, and then flipping to the back pockets. So back here I have just slips and stuff for my bank. The next one over is postage stamps and a few checks. And then in the card slots, I just have a journaling card here. I have a washi card, and then I just have my cards in the card slots. And then as for pens, it comes with one pen loop. I'm right-handed, so I like that the pen loop is on the back here. And so I'm in a Pilot Precise V5, and currently I'm in green because I just got a pack of multiple different colors because I get tired of writing in just black. So I got a pack where it had, I think, 2 blacks, a blue, and a green. So I'm writing with the green right now. I don't know if you can see on the indicator. There, I can see through. It's about down to there. So, I guess I'm a little over a third through the ink on that. But I love the Pilot Precise V5s, so I thought I would use up the green first, and then I'll probably do a black, and then a blue, and then another black, or something like that. And then I have a second pen, and I just have it attached here via clippies on my front welcome page here. And this is just a ballpoint pen, and how it works is you put a couple of little binder clips, and then you just have a little clippy thingy, right? And then you just slide it in the binder clips. And ta-da, you don't have to try to put it in another pen loop. This holds it, and at least for me, it holds it nice and secure. Okay, and then we have the big back pocket. I have receipts and bills and a few Bible study notes and such back there, and dentist paper, etc. So, and what I like about this size is I can take a regular sheet of letter size paper, fold it in half once, and it fits in the back just fine. So it's really versatile that way. Okay, so now going through my actual setup. This first page, this is just some laminated scrapbook paper. And then in that scrap pack, and I don't know which pack it was, I really can't tell you. It's been in my stash for years. But they also have little cards and stuff you can cut out. So I cut out this one that said hello, and I washi it on, and then this is under the laminate. And then on the other side, again from that same pack, Stop and Smell the Roses, and I just washied that on, and this is all laminated in there. So this functions, 1, it's a stiff page that holds my pen. 2, it's a pretty welcome page when I first open my planner. And 3, it's a front page lifter, so it's going to help prevent my pages from behind here from curling around my rings. So this SmartFee does come with a leather fly leaf. It does not have a pen loop on it, but the fly leaf takes up more room in the rings, especially since I took out the 30mm rings and put in 1-inch rings. So ring real estate's really important that I be careful with it. All right, and then I have several sheets of filler paper. This is Franklin Covey filler paper. I have some Blooms filler paper. I have some 7 Habits filler paper. And this is just where these sheets of paper up front here is where I write down my running grocery list, things that I'm out of or low on, or someone says that they need or that I want to get, etc. It gets written down here. And then each week, the day before I get groceries, I will go over that list. I will go over my menu plan for the week. I'll go over my master grocery list, all that's in here. And then I will write out a list in the order of the aisles in the store which I shop. And then I will have that list up here at the front. And then I'll either read it from my planner or take it out of my planner. So then we come to my first divider. Now, the inserts that I'm using from Franklin Covey came with dividers. So I'm just using the dividers that it came with. I've made dividers for years, and you know what? I don't like making dividers. I never have. So I thought, well, I'm just going to, I got free dividers, a whole bunch of them, with my insert set that I got from Franklin Covey. So I'm going to use those dividers. So I just labeled them and decorated them really quick. And besides the labeling, I just decorated them and everything while I was like sitting down watching a movie with my husband one night. You know, it's not that serious of a thing, but I wanted something that wasn't just plain white. So this one is labeled home because this is my homemaking section. So going inside my homemaking section, the first page is cleaning. Now, as we go through my pages, especially if you see my previous planner tours, you'll see not this page, but most of my pages are still the same pages I've been using because I have no reason to reprint out everything if it's something that I'm still using and the page isn't totally wrecked and worn out. This page is a reprint, and this is just my current weekly cleaning schedule. And then as or if it needs to change, I'll probably just take one of those Post-it dot grid sticky pages and just stick it on top of it and then write out a revision on that. That's usually what I end up doing. But this is my current cleaning schedule. I've been on for a while. It's working. It's still working. So that's what I'm on. And I just use these to help me keep places in certain spots. Okay, and then I have my deep cleaning and organization projects. And this is just things to be, more organized or more deeply cleaned. So my next thing that I'll be doing on this list is I need to go through all of my makeup and hair stuff. Okay, after this is my master grocery list. I've had this exact same list for years. Not everything in here is relevant anymore, but it's not a high priority for me to revamp it. It's still close enough. That's all I do is I will skim through it sometimes when I make my grocery list just to help me visualize what I have and don't have. And then if I forget something, this is usually what will remind me. And that's all I use that for. And it's handy enough to just keep in my planner year to year. All right, and then breakfast ideas and lunch ideas. These also have suggested sides. I come to these to help me in making my menu plan for the week. And then I have supper ideas, which is currently going under and being overhauled. So that's why it's all marked up, and it's just going to continue getting marked up for months to come as I just revamp it week by week. So it's fine. And that also has suggested sides. And then I have my Thanksgiving and New Year's menus. And then this is my weekly menu. So then I write out my weekly menu the day before I get groceries when I make my grocery list. Before I make my grocery list, I make my weekly menu, and that's where that is. And it's easy to turn to because it's the last page in my homemaking section. So that brings us to my next divider, which is labeled recipes. So the first page in recipes is my table of contents. And you'll notice this isn't an index of all my recipes. It's just to sections. I divided my recipes into sections that make sense for me. And then I just, I numbered all my recipe pages, and then I just wrote page numbers where each section starts. And each section is in alphabetical order. So, for example, if I want to make a creamy potato soup, well, for me, that would be under main meal. So I turn to page 9, and then this ABC order. It's got to flip through the C's and find creamy potato soup. So it's pretty quick. So my recipes, pretty basic. I did not reprint these. I do have, some places in here where I have updates written. I have a few new recipes written in here, but the pages are in great condition. So, here's some updates. So I didn't see any need to have to reprint any of the pages. So we'll just see how long they last, before they get worn out, or before there's so many changes that I'll want to go on and update my file and reprint. But I mean, these are perfectly fine. So So yeah, these are all my recipe pages. There's a recipe I wrote in. And these are not, of course, all of my recipes, but these are my main ones. And then a lot of simple recipes I just have in my head. And recipes that I only do very, very rarely, I just have in my cookbooks. Okay, so then my next divider is labeled budget. Now, I can't show you a whole lot of this section, obviously, because it's my budgeting section. But the first page in my budget section is my budget guide. And you see I have the page anonymized. Currently, my husband used to get paid every week. Currently, he's been getting paid every other week. So I have 4 squares on a chart here. And this is for the first check of the month, the second check of the month, the occasional third check of the month, you know, if we have like an extra Friday in the month, and then cash. And so it squares 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I just write down which bills or reoccurring expenses go with either check 1 or check 2 of the month. And then when we have extras for check 3, when we get that, you know, occasional third check of the month, and then just cash stuff, which is like cash stuff isn't really got a whole lot going on. If we have a dentist appointment coming up, I usually like to pay that in exact change and pay that off in cash. That's just simpler than handing them my card and then them running off with it and coming back with it later or whatever. So just stuff like that. Or a lot of times I will have out cash for our weekly date. So that's just stuff if I want to do in cash or keep in the bank as card. And then after this, the rest of the budget section is just filler paper. I don't use official budget sheets. However, budgeting sheets did come with the Franklin Covey compact inserts that I'm using, but I just like my system. It's nice and simple. It's just a sheet of filler paper. I write the date of the check at the top. I look here at my budget guide to see, okay, well, I go to, oh, is it check 1 or check 2 or the occasional check 3, and then I write down the expenses for that check. I will then go to my monthly calendar further back in my planner, and I'll look at, well, what's coming up for that week, for the next 2 weeks, and then I will then write out any extra expenses for there, birthdays, anniversaries, appointments, stuff like that. And then I just keep a running total of, okay, this is how much we have left after all those are spent. So now, what do we do with what's left? What goes to savings? What goes to date, groceries, etc. So, and I just track that all here. So when I first pay a bill, I will put a dot next to it showing it's paid, just waiting for it to clear the bank. Anything I'm waiting for it to clear the bank, it's a dot next to it. So that way I know whenever I check the bank, I'll see the total, and I need to subtract everything that's not scratched off, and then everything that has a dot next to it, I need to see if it's cleared. If it's cleared, scratch it off. If it's not cleared, then subtract it. And that way, I always have a true total of what we have in the bank here in my budget section, which is more up to date than what's in the bank because, waiting for things to clear. So that's my budgeting section. Okay, and then the next section, it's REF. This is my reference section. And the first page of my reference section is just a written out table of contents. Oh, and then this little sticky note, I just keep, I have this memorized, but it's cute. If you're doing a Bible study and you're reading 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 10, you're like, well, what does because of the angels mean? Well, it's because of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 3. So if you get confused by because of the angels in 1 Corinthians 11:10, that's because Paul's referring back to something he said earlier. He's referring back to what he said in 1 Corinthians 6:3. Okay, so table of contents. I have a paper clip here just kind of clipping some of the personal stuff together that I'm not going to show you. But in my reference section, this is where I just have things that they don't need their own sections, but they need to be in my planner. And so I just numbered the pages and I keep a table of contents. So I have gift ideas, stock list, perpetual calendar, family information, directions, contacts, codes, health, food, and cars. So a lot of this is paper clipped together. So if we flip past that, we come to my health section. And this is something, if you want to take a picture or if you want to pause and read, if you're able to on your screen, you can. So this is, it's just 2 pages. This is page 1. And then over here is page 2. And this is just for me. This is not me giving anybody else health or medical advice. This is stuff that works with me, that I've been doing for years, and works for me. So I have stuff, this is just for me personally, it's my personal planner. So I have stuff on my progesterone cream. I don't have the dosage written down because dosing changes, and this because I'm perimenopausal. I have for stuff if I get UTIs, if I get ear infections. This is personal here. Menorrhagia, which I don't get anymore because the progesterone balanced out my hormones. But I've had it 3 times. Colds, flus, and related viruses, and my common cold remedy. So the cold that I'm just getting over is the only cold that I had for 2023. I had it at the end of 2023. And I didn't have any more because whenever I got to the first sign of a cold, I would do my cold remedy, and it worked every time. However, this last time I couldn't do my cold remedy because I had a skin infection that I had to be on antibiotics for. And it started off, with dry skin, and then I guess staph got into it or whatever. So I had to be on antibiotics, and I can't do my cold remedy when I'm on antibiotics. So I got to be on antibiotics, and I got to have a cold and antibiotics, and I didn't get to do my cold remedy. So hopefully, a cold and antibiotics don't crash together at the same time again. Okay, so after that, this is my food section. And for my food section, this is for when I'm food journaling or if I'm dropping some weight. I just have written down lists of common foods that I eat and then amount of calories per what I call a serving, which for me a serving is usually it's a half cup of something or a half slice of something, or I'll otherwise mention it if it's some other type of serving. So I have this for my common breakfasts, and then my common lunches and suppers, and then for sides, fruits, tomatoes, and squash, vegetables and legumes, other sides, and then other things. And then after that, the last thing in my reference section is car information. So after that, we come to my next divider, which is Misc. This is miscellaneous, other, notes, whatever you want to call it. So when we come in here, this sticky over here, these are text shortcuts that I have programmed into the keyboard on my phone. I have most of these memorized, but I like to have it here just in case I forget one. And these are all shortcuts that, well, I would say most of them go into, I just type out like ROM 310. I type that, and then my keyboard will, boom, type out all of Romans chapter 3, verse 10 for me. So these are for, so I don't have to keep typing out scriptures. I do Bible studies with people online, and I do some online counseling. So when I do these things, it's nice to have a lot of the scriptures that I use the most just have a text shortcut. So I can just type the shortcut, and I'm good. Like, of course, John 3:16. So I just have John 3:16. Type that out, and boom, the whole verse is typed out. If someone is getting saved, then I also have SALPR, that's salvation prayer. That if they want to get saved, first we go over how they're a sinner, how to get washed from their sins, and how to receive Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And then this before that is R, letter U, and the word willing altogether. Are you willing? And above that is repent. These are about, okay, so if you are interested in salvation, well, recall Jesus died for you. Are you going to receive him not just as your Savior, but as your Lord? Lord means master. In return, are you going to live your life for him? And then if that person, does commit on these 2 steps, then SALPR, lead them through the salvation prayer. So yeah, these are just mostly scriptures or things related to scriptures, but it's mostly scriptures that I use in Bible studies with people online. Okay, and then this is one of the pages that came with the inserts that I'm using, and I just love this. It's handy. It's got the weights and measures and conversions and kitchen measurements and temperature measurements, conversion table, time zone map, etc. And this is my brain dump section, miscellaneous, haha. So like I have just notes in here. I have print sizes for different size planners. So this is something if you wanted to pause, if you can read my writing. Print sizes for different size ring size planners. And the percentages you probably understand you set in your Word program. The numbers, these are margins. Okay, and then down here, this is Bible study stuff. This is shades or Rephaim, that these scriptures should be looked up in the YLT. That's Young's literal translation, and you use the Young's literal translation to correct these verses. Most Bibles have them wrong. The shades or Rephaim are dead giants or dead Nephilim, but most Bibles will just translate them as dead or spirits. But they're not dead people. So it's important to have that distinction, especially if you're studying out the divine counsel. So now, some Bible versions have it correct. The ESV has it correct. However, I do not recommend that translation. However, a translation that's like the ESV but way better is the NRSV, and the NRSV has this right, and the NRSV recently came out with an updated edition, the NRSV UE, in my opinion, might possibly be the best modern Bible translation out there, and that also has these right. The NABRE, the New American Bible Revised Edition, that's a Roman Catholic edition, but it's a literal translation, and they did a great job on it. I think that has these right, but I don't recall for sure. There's something else that does if it's not that one. So that's something that's important, especially if you're really interested in studying God's Word. Then you might want to pause and write down these scriptures, look them up in the Young's literal translation, and use the YLT to correct your Bible version, unless you're using an NRSV or an NRSV UE, etc. Okay, and then down here, these are menopause notes because I'm perimenopausal. Then I just have more notes and scribbles, and then I have, this is where I keep extra filler paper. So every once in a while when I get a whole bunch of notes and scribbles in here, you see it's the beginning of the year, so I don't have a whole lot yet, then I'll go through and just get rid of, what's no longer relevant. So, and then extra filler paper is kept back here. This is all Franklin Covey filler paper. Like these, all the ones that look like these, this is filler paper that came with my inserts that I'm using. And then this is filler paper Franklin Covey that I had in my stash. So we come to my last main divider, and it's labeled Plans. Woo! We are now in the planner section of my planner. So the first page in there, I'm using the Franklin Covey 7 Habits compact size pages. So this is the title page, and it is cardstock. So, and then usually I don't fill out the personal information, name and address, phone number, etc. But I thought, what the heck? So I filled it out this year, so that's why I have that covered up. And then on the back of this, you have years at a glance for this year, 2024, and then you also have at a glance for 2025. And then also what came with the inserts is this page of holidays and observances. This is handy, especially if I'm trying to look at what days my husband has off, etc. Or if I want to see what days certain Jewish feasts fall on. It's important if you're going to study eschatology, you need to look backwards as well as forwards, which includes being familiar with the Jewish feasts. And they're listed in here, and that's handy. Okay, and then we come to my month on 2 pages for all of 2024. Now, one of the things I love about the 7 habit inserts by Franklin Covey is each divider has a picture. And I appreciate that because most, if not all of their other inserts, it doesn't. It's a bunch of lines and it's boring looking. And I like having pictures on my dividers. So we'll flip through that really quick and I'll show you all of the dividers. So here's January. There's February and March. And there's April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So flip back to January, since that is where we are at, and then we have month on 2 pages. Let me flip to, my April is blank, so I'll flip to April because that one is blank. And so you see you have nice squares with lines in them, and the date line is shaded. That's helpful. And then you have some note lines here on the side. And all of the calendar pages have this nice classy black here on the top, and then it's kind of this down here. And I love how this looks. To me, it's a clean look, but it's also not a boring look. So I like the black on top with the white and the black. I just think it looks really good. And then for the notes section, that's where I track menstrual things. When you're perimenopausal, it's more important than ever that you keep track of, well, how long are your cycles, how long was your menstruation, the dates that they were, etc. So I will track all that here. I'll track usually at least 4 or 5 months back so that I can look at the past 4 or 5 months and then the current month, and then I keep all that in the sidebar. Okay. So, yeah, and then I will also track other things here in the squares. I don't just write down appointments or reoccurring things. I'll also track like headaches. I track my headaches, and I'll track other health type related things in here and things that I just want to keep track of. Or if I'm doing a certain project or whatever, I will do 1-letter tracking in here. I'll do a 1-letter code, and then it's usually inside a circle, a square, or a diamond or something. And then I usually have my tracking letters. I usually keep in this, you know, the shaded beige-ish area here next to the dates, where I usually keep my tracking stuff. So that's really handy for that. Now, I have day on 2 pages in here for my daily planning. And because it's day on 2 pages and I only have 1-inch rings, I only keep 1 month of day on 2 pages at a time in here. So since this is January, right now I only have January for day on 2 pages in here. And so here's page 1, page 2, and then my page marker. Now, what's cool about the page marker is this also came with the inserts. It's got a plastic pocket here. And it comes with the inserts, it comes with pages that fit right in here, and you can fill them out. So you can do compass cards, or you can do notes, or both. I just have notes on both sides. I don't really currently do their compass card system, but if you want to, it's pretty self-explanatory, and the inserts come with instructions, so that's cool. So flipping to blank day on 2 pages, so you can see the layout here of the 7 habits. So this is your daily task list. And then you see you have different little mark off legend here, which I have followed for years and do follow. So you have a check mark if it's completed, an arrow if it's forwarded, an X if it's deleted, if it's delegated. I don't really do that one very much. I usually do my own thing for that. And I usually do a diamond for delegated, and then a dot for in process. In addition, when I put a mark next to one of my things here, whether it's done, delegated, forwarded, or whatever, I also put a line through it as well. Otherwise, it can sometimes be tricky for my eye to line up the check mark next to the item. So I check it off and I cross it out. And that's also, I don't know, it's more satisfying that way. So you'll see we have 3 different shaded areas. So I most of the time don't use them, but if I ever have, you know, a more complicated day, then you can categorize your to-dos. Like maybe you would have personal, work, family, or maybe you'll have morning, afternoon, evening, right? Or you can be like me, and most of the time I just ignore them, but I'm glad they're there for when I need them. And then the appointment schedule, I usually just write down timed things. A lot of times I'll just write down, okay, here's the times that we're going to have the meals for that day. And then, of course, if there's any appointments or whatnot, then that gets written down there as well. But what I love about having about this is if I can't follow my master schedule and I have to have a completely different schedule for the day, I can just write down the time schedule right there. And yeah, inside this page lifter, or this page finder, by the way, what I have in there is my master schedule. You know, my kids are pretty much grown now, so I don't have to schedule for them anymore. They're running their own ships. I just got a schedule for myself, so I don't need a whole sheet of laminated paper anymore. So I just keep my my master schedule just written over here. Okay, and then the second page, this is daily notes. Now, daily notes, this goes with, let's see, I think it's at the, I don't know if I remember, oh yeah, there it is. It's at the, if you go to the back of your month on 2 pages, you have this in the back of each month, okay? And at the top half it says, index important information recorded on this month's daily notes. That's these. If you wrote something in daily notes that you need to file or that you need to be able to reference in the future, you flip over here and you write down the date so you know what date it's on. And then just a little summary or title of what it is, and you can flip here and read the details. So that's handy for that. And then also, you know, you can write anything you want in here, and you have shaded areas, so you can write in dates or check marks or whatever you want. What I do is I'll write down my menu plan for the week there, and then I'll write down my cleaning, my menu plan for the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then I'll write down my cleaning tasks for the day, and then I do any tracking right down here at the bottom. And I usually have open space right around here for anything else I want to write in. And I love the freedom of having a note page, because throughout the day, I would say for at least half of the time, half of the days or more, there's the stuff I need to quickly write down, chicken scratch, a quick note to myself. I have the space to do that. Or if I need to write down a phone number or an email address or an address really quick, it's right there. This is also where if I have a bigger task over here and it's kind of overwhelming and daunting to me, then I'll take that bigger task and I'll come over here and I'll write down smaller steps that I need to do to fulfill that big task. I do that a lot. Or if my day suddenly changes and I can't follow my plan as was planned out, then I'll quickly rewrite a different plan for the remainder of that day over here. So yeah. Now if we flip back to the back of your month on 2 pages here, so up here you have the index I showed you. Down here, this is a master task list. So you have date columns, and then you have for personal master tasks for the month and business related master tasks for the month. I don't use that. I rarely use this. And then this is the first page on the day on 2 pages, okay? And you notice at the top it also says index important information recorded on this month's daily notes. So you keep an index of something important you wrote in your daily notes. If you need to index certain important things, you have an index here, but you also have an index here. Why the redundancy? Well, because most people aren't going to have all of their day on 2 pages in here for the whole year. They're going to take it out every 1, 2, or 3 months, and then if it's got important information, they file them. So then you have the monthly record. So you can go to your monthly record, and then you'd be able to go, oh, okay, that was January 16th. Then you can go to your, wherever you're keeping your old January inserts, and you can turn to the 16th. So you have it in 2 places. You have your index in your storage for when your month is over, but you also have your index in your monthly. So that's just, it's just, you know, for convenience if you index. Okay, so after all of my planning pages, I have a filler sheet of paper, and at the top I've written 2025 plus. And 2025 plus is my future planning. And I already have some things written on here, so I have this over here. I have a few things for 2025 and even a bit later. Also, another thing that comes on these is if you go to the very last page of your day on 2 pages. This is, and this of course is for January, so January 2024 business expenses. If you have business expenses that you need to keep track of for the month, they've got you covered. You can keep track of them right here, and then you can turn in the page or input it into a computer database, you know, at the end of the day or at the end of the week or at the end of the month or whatever. So I think that's handy. I've never had to use it, almost had to use it a few times. So that's handy. And this is at the back of all of the day on 2 pages for the month. So this is at the end of January. So that's in there. All right, so then we saw I have my future planning page. Now, this insert pack also comes with future planning calendars. I don't need all of that. I don't need all those extra papers in my rings. I just need 1 sheet of paper for my future planning usually, and that's plenty. Okay, so after that, we're in my back matter. So I have my plastics, and it varies what's in my plastic envelopes and stuff. And these are for my stash. I've just had plastic envelopes. I have some zipper ones. I have some top-loading ones in here, and I just keep various doodads or things or receipts. Like I just had a cavity filled, so I have my dentist receipt in here from when I paid for it the other day, etc. So these are my plastics. And then after my plastics, I have a page lifter. I believe this is Franklin Covey. It comes, you get 2 free page lifters with every new Franklin Covey binder that you buy. Now this is a Smart Fee binder. It did not come with page lifters, but I have lots of page lifters in my stash from Franklin Covey binders that I have bought in the past. And yeah, that is a detailed tour of my planner. I hope my recovering from a cold voice wasn't too harsh on you, and I hope this blessed you. Maybe it motivated you or gave you some ideas on some things that you can do in your planner, or if you're stuck on something, maybe something that I have in here helped you get unstuck. So I hope this tour blessed you and helped you in some way. Have a blessed day.